Welcome to the JCHS Class of 2022 commencement. I'm Mary Ellen Hunt. I'm the Director of Enrollment Management, and I will be your MC for the afternoon. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the graduation of these accomplished, resilient students who are completing their high school experience and beginning a journey to adulthood. As a school, we have seen how much the world has changed through the pandemic. After 2 years away from Temple Emanu-El, we are pleased to be back and have brought some elements of change from the last 2 JCHS graduations into this space. We are thrilled to bring our community together and enjoy this shared experience both in person and virtually. Each graduate has a bag at their seat filled with items especially for them. Please refrain from opening them ahead of being instructed to do so. Please also remember to keep your mask on indoors at all times, and don't forget to silence your cell phones. And now, please join me in welcoming the members of the JCHS professional community. Thank you, Procom. You can be seated, please. And now, please join me in welcoming the Jewish Community High School Class of 2022. Thank you. Seniors, please take your seats. Thank you so much. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce the President of our Board of Directors, Raphael Edelman.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. It's great to see everybody. I bring a heartfelt mazel tov from the entire board of JCHS. We're so proud that what each of you in the class of 2022 has learned and where you're going. For several years now, JCHS has been your home away from home. And as you leave JCHS, remember you can take the love of family, the pride of this community, and even your Judaism with you. Judaism has a special genius for being portable. Our individual Judaism is not rigidly anchored to any single place. We take it with us wherever we go. Each of you, all of us, are on a journey toward fulfilling our highest purpose and ambition. To bless you, the class of 2022, on this journey from JCHS and beyond, I will recite the Tfilat HaDerech, the Traveler's Prayer, and as I recite it, imagine where you will be a year from now and all the places you will go, always with our prayers for your shalom, your wholeness, and peace. Yehirat Zama Lefanecha, Adonai Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu, shetolichenu l'shalom, v'tatzidenu l'shalom, v'tadrichenu l'shalom, v'tagienu limchoz cheftzenu l'chaim u'lesimcha u'leshalom, v'tatzilenu mikaf kol oyev v'orev b'derech, u'mikol minei peroniot hamitragshot lavo li'olam, v'titnenu l'chein u'lechesed u'lerachamim be'einecha u've'einei kol re'enu, Ki el shomei tefillah v'tachanun ata, baruch atah Adonai shomei tefillah. May it be your will, Eternal One, our God and the God of our ancestors, that you lead us toward peace, support our footsteps towards peace, guide us towards peace, and make us reach our desired destination for life, joy, and peace. May you rescue us from the hand of every foe along the way and from all manner of sorrow that may come to this world. May you send blessing in our every handiwork and grant us peace, kindness, and mercy in your eyes and in the eyes of all who see us. For you are the one who hears prayer and supplications. Blessed are you, Hashem, who hears prayer.
Thank you so much, Raphael. JCHS has a process for creating our senior address that separates it from the typical graduation speech. In a true community experience which values every voice, each senior writes a speech, and then the class chooses excerpts from each. They're stitched together to create a collage of their collective ideas and feelings. The class as a group also selects who will perform the speech. This year, Molisha and Zoe Skegan were chosen by their class to share the seniors' words.
Let's give it up to the class of 22. The aspen tree is a special type of tree that in great numbers looks just like a regular forest of individual trees. But when you explore underneath the surface, you will find that the forest is interconnected by their roots. Just like the aspen forest, from an outside view, each of us may look like individual trees standing tall and firm. This is why it's very difficult to find something that everyone in our grade has in common. Each one of us has our own strengths and our own weaknesses. Some of us have hundreds of rings that surround our trunks, and some of us are still learning how to thicken the bark that surrounds us.
But this is why our grade is so special. We don't feel the need to conform to a standard. We take pride in our individuality and present a sense of uniqueness that helps shape us and our community. Looking even closer, we have cross-country star astrophysicists and our bodybuilder photographers. We have swimmers that swim in the bay and get home in time to finish their math homework, and skaters whose art belongs in the SF MoMA. While these differences at times may have presented challenges with us getting along, they also allowed us to learn from each other's uniqueness, developing and growing into fuller, more expansive, and well-rounded people. Unknowingly, we have grown to depend on each other and learn from each other.
The fruits of our labor and our experience at this school can be perfectly encapsulated by the feeling of bittersweetness. Bitter because we were forced to spend too much time apart. Bitter because of the losses, whether they be relationships or in a more literal sense, something much greater. Bitter because we must come to the realization that we are now splitting up. We are adults, and it's time to dig up our roots, to move. But it's sweet in that we are able to flourish in each other's company. Sweet in that we are able to develop incredible lifelong relationships. Sweet in that we're now free and able to explore the world. Though we are all heading in different directions, we will remain deeply connected, just like the aspen trees were united in ways that can't be seen at first glance. For example, our Judaism. Now, obviously the fact that we are Jewish is quite conspicuous given where we've spent the past 4 years, but when we walked along the Golden Gate Bridge or through the museums, we looked like regular high schoolers. But regardless, our mutual Jewishness gave us a guaranteed safe haven that we will never get again for the rest of our lives.
On the topic of Judaism, we have to use this opportunity to show off what we've learned in the past 4 core classes and 2 electives of Jewish. In Kabbalah, the mystic side of Judaism, nothingness is able to develop into something by being passed through the tree of life. In the same way, JCHS is very similar. While it may be a bit of a stretch to call us nothing before joining this wonderful class, I think we can all agree that we were not the same people we are today at the beginning of this journey. Similar to Kabbalah one more time, as we moved down the tree of life, we were slowly shaped into the people we are today by various experiences and environments. Ignoring the obvious virus that will go unnamed, we were tempered by what seemed to be individual roadblocks. But as we shared and connected with each other more, they turned out to be quite character building.
We have all taken exponentially more risks over the years. We were awkward teens freshman year, anxious to figure everything out. But after talking with all of you, it turns out there was a common factor in all of this anxiety. We were all so worried about how others would perceive and judge us. We didn't notice everyone was in the same boat. Everyone was worried about rolling the dice, taking a chance, hoping to academically and socially thrive. Even though this pandemic has been absolutely horrendous, I believe that this period has been monumental for self-discovery and self-empowerment. When you spend hours and hours alone in your room, you start to think a lot about who you are as a person because societal expectations don't really exist anymore. Unknowingly, this newborn confidence brought great benefits to us all. We understood what our passions were and what our priorities looked like.
Thank you. Instead of trying to fit into other people's expectations, we focused on how we wanted to shape ourselves. We became our own independent selves that developed into something greater. Like pieces to a puzzle, as we returned to school, we had all developed in a way that fit and complemented each other. Like the aspen forest, when one of us suffered, the whole grade suffered with them. And when one person thrived, we all thrived with them. Wow. That was a lot of emotional ground to cover. When writing the speech, we were trying to avoid being sappy, but I guess that failed. Glad you guys got that. Well, going back to being serious, despite our individuality and our time apart, we united into a powerful single organism that reformed the school's atmosphere. We had an unprecedented opportunity to change the student culture to be whatever we wanted, and we created an exceptional experience for our final year. We did not let this virus define us, but instead we made the most of what we were given. We have been on the most journeys of any grade at this school. We've seen girls' soccer go farther than ever before. Yeah, give it up for them, they did amazing. And we have the utmost honor of graduating alongside Lord Dean Rabbi Dean Kirtez in his last year of teaching. We led by example and molded JCHS into a positive, energetic, and compassionate place. And I feel confident that our legacy will continue on for years to come.
To our parents, thank you for supporting us throughout high school. All of us are here. We're able to become who we are today due to your support, love, and care. So, as our forest of trees reaches new heights, we would like to thank those who have watered us from the ground up. To our teachers, there is a universal and unrivaled love for all of you from our class. Throughout all of the times of darkness, you were there with us. You were leading us out with your light. You taught us not only the class material, but also how to learn, how to adapt, and how to navigate the world in a time of so many unknowns. In case it wasn't obvious, we could never have made it this far without you. To the class of 2022, you know, it makes us sad knowing that this is the last time where we're all forced into a room together. But then we remember that the world needs people like us, people who value their community, people with a genuine passion for learning, people who pursue justice, and people who take pleasure in the little things. No, I don't feel upset at all knowing this class will be dispersed around the world, spreading this incredible, incredible goodness. Instead, we are grateful for the sorrow we feel because it is a testament to our time at this school.
Reaching the end of high school is a somewhat sad but necessary part of our greater journey and has provided us with the tools we need for the next step. We will remember our first time together on the freshman retreat. We will remember seeing everyone grow into actual people after almost 2 years apart. We will remember you, class of 2022.
Thank you, seniors, and never doubt that you will be remembered with great love. Graduates, in the bag that was placed at your seat is a wrapped gift with a letter addressed to you. Please open just those letters and your wrapped gift now. These are handwritten letters from one of our educators, along with a book that they have chosen especially for you to take on the journey ahead. seniors, on your behalf, let me thank all of those who have chosen those books and written those letters for you. Let me also thank the dozen JCHS educators and staff who have been working hard to make this commencement special for you. I offer a special word of thanks to our marketing team who innovated the online Mazel Tov May, Julie Volchek-Burke, who has encouraged us to celebrate this remarkable 18th commencement, and Kina Golden, who as JCHS Projects Manager has organized and assembled this event today. And I would like to also thank Ms. Lauren Cook, who is sad that she is not sharing this moment with you as she had planned, and who has offered such wisdom and care in guiding you onto the next part of your journey. Continuing in the spirit of Hakarat Hatov, the Jewish value of expressing gratitude, let me please ask the JCHS professional community to stand. Thank you. Thank you to these remarkable educators for nourishing and encouraging you and for teaching and learning with you throughout your JCHS journey. And now, I ask the others seated with you, your family and friends, to stand so that we can extend our thanks to them, our indispensable partners and your proudest admirers. Please stand. Thank you so much. And finally, I would invite us to pause for a moment of quiet reflection, to bring into this sanctuary members of your family and friends who are not able to be with you here today. We bring all of them into our hearts, and their presence is very much felt by all of us. Next, I am pleased to introduce our head of school, Rabbi Howard Jacoby Rubin, who will share his words and blessings dedicated to the class of 2022.
My dear graduates, almost exactly 4 years ago, when you received summer reading ahead of being in 9th grade, the JCHS professional community received its summer reading. It was Alana Aguilar's book, Onward, Cultivating Emotional Resilience in Educators. Aguilar defines emotional resilience as how we rebound after challenges and bounce back after adversity. I picked the book for the JCHS professional community for 2 reasons. First, replenish our professional reservoirs, making ourselves more ready to support you. Second, to call out that Judaism is at its core about resilience. Jewish history consists of repeated cycles of trauma and renewal, disappointment and reassessment. For instance, when the ancient Jerusalem temple was destroyed in the 1st century, the rabbis reinvented nearly all of Jewish practice. When in the 15th century, the Inquisition persecuted and expelled Sephardi Jews, mystics created Kabbalah. When 17th century Ashkenazi Jews were decimated in Poland, Hasidism grew from the ashes. Judaism is a study in creative resilience. Still, in 2018, when assigning Aguilar's book to the professional community, little could any of us have imagined how through most of your experience of high school, a global pandemic would deplete all of our reservoirs and fundamentally challenge our assumptions about the range of human control and free will. As Mo and Zoe said in your collective address just now, your class's creative response to this turmoil has been learning how to adapt, how to navigate the world in a time of so many unknowns. In biblical terms, these pandemic years have been like a journey through the wilderness. The rabbis of Midrash, reflecting on the name for this week's Torah portion, Bamidbar, literally in the wilderness, identify wilderness with Torah learning because Torah's vitality comes from boundless creativity, expansiveness, and adaptation. I had a camp counselor who went on years later to become the senior rabbi down the road at Shereth Israel, Rabbi Larry Raphael. Larry would say there were three kinds of people in the world: carrot people, egg people, and coffee people. Three kinds of people based on how they responded to disappointment and challenge. Imagine an experiment putting each of these three, a carrot, an egg, and coffee, into three separate pots of boiling water and leaving it there boiling for 20 minutes. All three are experiencing the same stress, the same test. The carrot enters the water hard and inflexible, but the carrot comes out softened, weak. The water's unchanged. An egg enters fragile and delicate, but comes out hardened, strong, while the water is unchanged. But the coffee's different. When it comes out of the water is transformed. The grounds enter bitter, but the flavors left in the water are nutty or chocolatey or caramely. Larry concluded by encouraging us to be coffee people, able to use the heat of life, the challenges and turmoil and difficulties, as a source of learning and transformation, becoming more complex, nuanced through the process. And there's one feature of this paradigm of the carrot, the egg, and coffee story that it seems to me should be called out. None of these, the carrot, the egg, the coffee, have any choice in the matter. They each perform according to fixed rules of nature. You are different. You have choices. And our mission for 4 years has been to empower your choices. A recent memoir by Holocaust survivor and acclaimed psychotherapist Edith Eva Eger amplifies the power of human choice. By way of background, Edie grew up in Hungary and by the age of 16 had earned a spot on Hungary's national gymnastics team for the Olympics, a boyfriend she intended to marry. But the Nazis upended all that, and her family's existence was completely upended when they were deported to Auschwitz. Edie survived the Holocaust, was liberated in 1945, and eventually became an American citizen, and as a survivor, schooled and trained to become a psychotherapist. Decades later, after supporting thousands of patients, including soldiers who had experienced PTSD, Edie, at the age of 90, wrote her first book, a memoir called The Choice. Her own studies included being mentored by Viktor Frankl, another Auschwitz survivor. He entered Auschwitz already a psychotherapist. His observations were really keen. Edie learned from him that each moment is a choice. No matter the situation we are in, we can always choose how we respond. Before sharing 3 essential lessons from Edie, let me share an important introductory thought from her book. There is no hierarchy of suffering. She cautions nothing makes her pain worse than our own just because she was at Auschwitz. All suffering is real, no matter the source. She wants us to hear her story, not to feel badly for her, but to be inspired that if she could make choices to move past it, maybe we could too. Which leads to her first lesson. Suffering is universal, but victimhood is optional. We all have challenges. We are all faced with situations in which we have no control or little control. But how we respond to life events, to difficult situations, is in our control. As Reverend Martin Luther King said, we must accept finite disappointment but never lose infinite hope. Yeah, Edie was victimized, but the choice was hers not to be paralyzed by seeing herself as a victim. Her second lesson: be your true self, human, imperfect, and whole. As Edie struggled to raise her family, develop her career, and confront the suffering of surviving the Holocaust, she divorced her husband. Having divorced him, Edie was forced to confront herself. She couldn't blame him for any part of her life or her choices. She realized she needed to change herself if she wanted things to be different. She did. They remarried. The key to bouncing back from adversity is, in Edie's words, the willingness to take absolute responsibility for your life, to release yourself from judgment and reclaim your innocence, accepting and loving yourself for who you really are, human, imperfect, and whole. Her third lesson: time itself doesn't heal. It's what you do with the time. Edie calls her approach choice therapy. We can choose to bring more compassion and humor, optimism and intuition, curiosity and self-expression into our lives, or we can choose each of their opposites. Edie knows from her experience that not everyone at every moment is capable of this choice. Still, her aspiration is that we be able to seize that choice, take that control. The choice of how to respond, the control of mastering our responses. As your class has started to show us at JCHS and will soon be showing the rest of the world, pandemic schmandemic. You're teaching us, in Edie's words, we can't change what happened. We can't change what we did or what was done to us, but we can change how we live now. Dear class of 2022, you seem well on your way to embodying Edie's essential lessons. So my prayer for you and for your dear family and friends, as we pass through the pandemic's long shadow, I pray that each of you, each of us, is actively choosing how we live, to choose more compassion and humor, more optimism and authenticity, more curiosity and delight. That we choose, in other words, to be like coffee people, resilient in the face of challenge and capable of transforming and improving the world around us. Precious class of 2022, if the last 4 years are any indication, you are well on your way. And as your journey takes you away from JCHS, know that we are always here for you, and we will miss you deeply.
Thank you, Rabbi Rubin. Seniors, it is now time for your moment on stage. Graduates' names will be read by our Deans of Students, Rabbi Dean Cortez and Ms. Michelle Natz. So that each graduate's name can be heard, we ask that you hold your loudest applause and your cheers until the end of the diploma ceremony. Seniors, please remember to wait to stand until after you've been reminded that your group should walk to your place next to the stage. Thank you.
Should we remind people to hold their applause? No.
Sadie Lucia Arneson.
Shulamit Bat Haya Valif.
Alexandra Arslanova.
Shomrit Bat Alexander Ve'ilana.
Ariel Atius,
Ariel, Noah, Bat Yona V'Yuval.
Kai McKinley Bernstein Lawler,
Gal Binyamin Ben Mark Ve'Esther Harova.
Shauna Leah Cohen,
Shana Leah Bat Reuven V'Yosefa.
Benjamin Burke Cox,
Binyamin Ben Chava Chana.
Liliana Rachel Dodson,
Rachel Bat Margalit V'Gary.
Charlie Kozak Donald,
Chaim Ben Miriam V'Yoshua.
Anna Gilda Dreyer,
Chana Tova Bat Chaya Rachel.
Gabriel Charles Fine,
Avraham Ben Edward V'Leah Rachel.
Gabriel Wolf Gluck,
Gabriel Avraham Ben Kristin V'Nachum Yitzhak.
Ari Goldberg,
Ari Ben Leah Gittel V'Yehoshua.
Samuel Richard Golden,
Shmuel Ben David V'Kina.
Ariel Goldstein,
Ariel Ben Lev V'Dvora.
Cassie Hannah Gorin,
Chaya Ben Binyamin V'Chaya.
Rachel Jean Ryder Haggard,
Rachel Sheila Bat Aviva Michal V'Steven.
Molly Handworker,
Malka Bat Meir.
Alexandra Lydia Holm,
Lydia Bat Daniel V'Shoshana.
Ethan Feilong Holtzman,
Eitan Ben Meir V'Jin.
Leora Julia Ariella Homa,
Leora Bat Eitan V'Sara. Treasure.
Elliot Michael Ingerman,
Eli Michal Ben Ilana V'Eugene.
Julia Koss,
Leah Bat Yitzchak V'Nachama.
William Zer Laguana,
Ze'ev Ben Naomi Leah V'Sharki.
Maurice Samuel Lisha.
Moshe Shmuel ben Chavivs v'Sara Leah.
Sabina Ruth Lyon Friedman.
Bina Ruth bat Chaim v'Shoshana.
Annabella Elizabeth Mazer.
Amiel Ela bat Ze'ev Zacharia v'Liva Kiva.
Nathan Chaim Marin.
Natan ben David v'Michal.
Anthony Aaron Maliker.
Aharon ben Shlomo v'Ilana.
Daphne Aviva Moskowitz.
Daphnit bat Masha Givora v'Avraham.
Gilad Noah Pifko.
Gilad ben David Ruvain v'Gavriela Chana.
Chana Rice.
Chana bat Gittel v'Yisrael Nachman.
Abigail Roth Schottenstein.
Avigail bat Tzvi Yehuda v'Sara Shalom.
Renan Azan Eitan Sasson Schweig.
Ranan Azan Eitan Sasson ben Tanya Chana v'Yehoshua.
Libby Seelman.
Libi mi Beit Vered v'Ephraim.
Mimi Jane Seligman.
Miriam bat Adam v'Rachel Hadassah.
Samantha Laurel Shaw.
Klila bat Lisa v'Michael.
Hannah Polly Jager Skegan.
Chanapali bat Gedalia v'Batya.
Zoe Bella Jager Skegan.
Bella Tzion mi Beit Gedalia v'Batya.
Miles Joseph Sloan.
Yosef ben Shlomo v'Chaya Bela.
Sabine Kaya Solka.
Iris Golda Chaya bat Yosefa Esther v'Chris.
Alexandra Sarah Taub.
Sarah bat Shoshana v'Ken.
Aaron Gary Taub.
Aharon ben Shoshana v'Ken.
Nicole Jessica Tuckfeld.
Gvira bat Galina v'Harold.
Natalia Tuckman.
Natalia bat Ari v'Bat Sheva.
Yana Emily Vinerovsky.
Chesedia bat Anna v'Leonid.
Chana Grace Elizabeth Zimmerman.
Chana Elisheva bat Yaakov Aharon v'Shoshana Rivka.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh. Class of 2022, we're so proud of you. And this graduation focuses on the journey you've made and the journey to come, and leaving JCHS with you will be a number of colleagues who are moving out of the area, and you acknowledged each of them last week. 2 others are leaving after making a very deep impression on JCHS through a combined 25 years of upbuilding JCHS and empowering students. We're profoundly grateful for all they've done to lift up the JCHS school community, for helping to bring you and all of us to this moment. As Rabbi Kertez retires and as Ms. Krieger goes on to become the Associate Head of Oakland Hebrew Day School, please join me in welcoming them forward to lead us in Birkat Shehechianu.
Rabbi Reuben invited me to say a few words before Shechianu, but I think he forgot that rabbis don't know such a thing as a few words, so I've really worked hard to keep this brief. One of my former students wrote to me recently saying, "I can't believe that after 14 years, JCHS is finally letting you graduate." And although it's been 50 years since I received my high school diploma, no joke, 50 years, Kennedy High School, Richmond, class of 1972, seniors, I know how you feel, as in a way I am graduating with you. 4 years ago, you came here as freshmen, not really knowing what you were walking into, and probably thinking that your time in high school would be really, really long. 4 years, an unimaginable span, and now you have received your diplomas. In a few moments, the ceremony will be over, and you will be done. Poof, 4 years gone by. Time is like that. It seems to stretch on forever until it doesn't, and then it's past in the blink of an eye. One moment you're a child, and then blink, you're on the cusp of adulthood. Right now, I imagine your parents are thinking, one moment you're bringing a baby home from the hospital, and then blink, your baby is graduating from high school. Or in my case, 1 minute you're a new hire at JCHS, unsure and uncertain whether you can do the job, and then blink, you're retiring from the most satisfying work you have ever done. And each moment in between, so rich, so full of possibilities, like an individual pearl on a necklace, until it's past. Some moments, like brushing your teeth, which, by the way, I hate to do, but do anyway, are unbelievably mundane. Others, like this moment now, seem so full of meaning. We know it's impossible to stop time, even if we want to with all our hearts. But there is one thing we can do to get the most out of it. Just be present. We're about to recite Shehechianu, the bracha that gives thanks to God for enabling us to be present in this moment. That is the power of a bracha, of a blessing, of a sacred word. They can make time stop, quiet the voices in our head, narrating and judging everything, and enable us to just be present. Just pay attention to the awe and the inspiring beauty of this sweet moment. It's too easy to be distracted from this truth by deadlines, by work, by stress. Being busy is a virtue, the path to success. We measure success in many ways: by the good college one attends, by the right career, the money that one earns, the things that one acquires. We admire the rich, the famous, the powerful, the influencers. Don't get me wrong. It's important to be self-supporting and independent. It is essential to make a positive contribution to the world. But then Shehechianu comes along, and it reminds us that it's just as important to be present in each moment of this one precious life that we are gifted with. So I want you to take a second now, if you haven't already, and pause. Take a deep breath and look around you, at your classmates, at your friends, your family, and your teachers. Feel the joy in the air. Feel the love that surrounds you. Drink it all in and inscribe it in your memory. Write it in your heart. Hold this moment in all its precious uniqueness. Not in a picture on your phone or in the cloud, but deep, deep within your soul. Shehechianu reminds us of something else. Giving thanks to God reminds us to be humble, to remember that anything of importance we achieve in our lives, like graduating high school or getting into college, we do so only with the help of others, our parents, our siblings, our teachers, our colleagues, if we're lucky, our life partners, and our dearest friends. In this way, it reminds us that the other measure of success is the quality of the relationships we have and the people we love in our lives. Last night at Siyum, I shared the teaching from Pirkei Avot that God dwells within the space where two people study Torah together. Martin Buber extended that idea by teaching that God dwells wherever two people are fully present for each other. That is the other kind of presence for the people in your life. So, as we each leave JCHS, these are my last teachings for you, dear, dear graduates. Pay attention to the bracha Miss Krieger is about to sing and be incredibly grateful I am not singing it. Do your best to be present for each moment in your life and for each person in your life, and you will attain success beyond measure, and holiness and beauty will permeate each moment of your life. From me, and on behalf of all the professional community, thank you for all that you have taught me, all that you have taught us, and the honor to have been allowed to be part of your life.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Thank you. It's almost time for our ceremony to come to a close. Please welcome Assistant Head of School Michael Brody to share some words and special instructions.
Class of 2022, traditions are powerful. So, if you haven't already, please move your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left. Another tradition is tossing your cap in the air, which you shouldn't do right now. Just 1 second. Another tradition is tossing your cap in the air as we all shout Mazel Tov. Although the expression is as fresh as its appearance in the Black Eyed Peas' I've Got a Feeling lyric, fill my cup Mazel Tov. Our people have been saying it in celebrations for more than 600 years. After you toss your, not yet, but after you toss your cap in the air and we shout Mazel Tov, there's one new ritual for you.
In your tote bag, please find the blue velvet bag and open it.
Should I put it on? As you leave, to make your mark on the world, remember, oh. Yeah, you'll always be a wolf. Okay. The order will be a countdown, then you'll toss your cap, then the family and friends will shout Mazel Tov. Then graduates, wear your wolf and hug your family. Then stay at your seats for some more instructions. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Mazel Tov! Ears in the back, yeah.
Congratulations, graduates. I'd like to invite the professional community to give a celebratory howl to our newest alumni. Ready? Oh! Please allow the Procom and the new JCHS alumni to exit before you leave the sanctuary. And thank you so much for coming. I will now invite the members of the professional community to stand and walk up the center aisle to the courtyard. Graduates, please stand. Graduates, please stand. And let's exit out the center aisle. Let's have one more round of applause, please, for the new JCHS alumni. If we could have the music, please. You'll be exiting to the song that you chose. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming.